When it comes to drawing eyes, many people make this mistake. Let's make sure that you're not one of them, okay? Come on, let's get to drawing. Welcome. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday edition of the Daily Draw. We're going to look at drawing eyes. Let's talk about this idea of a sphere. All right? Just think of this as a sphere, and all we're going to do is lay a piece of a flat clay over this sphere. What would that look like? All right, so if we lay this, it might look something just simply like this. Okay, and this piece might come up here like this, something like that maybe, right? We just laid a piece of clay. All right, so then this eyelid here, let's add a little thickness. So let's just do something like this. Okay, so this piece of clay has thickness to it, and you could even add a tone to this if you wanted to, so that you can get a sense that it's going and then it's cutting down. All right, let's draw the bottom part now. Let's just kind of circle around like this, and let's do this. And then let's add a little thickness to this as well. Boom, just like that. Hey, I see what you're doing, and I want to let you know that I think you're doing a great job. Do me a favor, jump down there and subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you don't mind, or better yet, stick around to the end of the video how you can get a free week to the Daily Draw, okay? All right, let's get back to drawing eyes. Now, let's add value, and I'll pause for a minute so you can make sure you get caught up. So of course, the way I'm adding my value is the sun is coming down in this direction, all right? All right, let's go ahead and add just a pupil here. And usually we want our irises, to hang from the top. They usually hang from the top. Now we could draw our pupil in here just like that. And let's make that nice and dark. And let's add a tone to that whole iris. Now this top, eyelid, I want you to think of that as almost like a roof. All right, so don't draw this. I just want to show it to you. Let's just say this is my house. This is my house here, and this is the roof, and that overhangs just like that. Think of this. The front door is right there, okay? think of this as the eyelid. So when the sun is shining, it's going to cast a shadow on the front end of the house. You see that? This is a side view of a house. So as our sun is shining down on this eyelid here is going to, most of the time, most time when we see a face, the light that is shining on that face generally is coming from above. It's generally coming from above. So this is why the upper eyelid will many times cast a slight shadow across the pupil. Most people forget that when they draw eyes. They don't put that in. And here's another common mistake that I see a lot of everyone make. Okay, in this case, I'm gonna draw the eye from a side view so I could show this to you. Okay, so you don't have to draw this. You could just, or if you want. So let's just say that's your eyeball right there. Okay. Of course, your eyeball has a little hole in it, and that's the pupil. And then around the pupil, you have your iris, okay? That's your eyeball right there. And then, of course, we just talked about the eyelid coming down. The eyelid covers the eyeball, right? And here's a funny thing, and I'll put this in green so it stands out. On top of your eyeball, in order to protect this hole that lets light in, there's a thing called the cornea. And the cornea is like that. It's like a glass window. It's clear, okay? And so this cornea protects the opening in your eye. You really can't see it because it's clear. When the sun is shining, we just talked about how this upper eyelid will cast a shadow on the eyeball. And the shadow is going to be in here like this, okay? Because that shadow is going to go through that clear cornea. But this is what's great about it, or I find it to be so interesting, is the reflection. This cornea, because it's clear, is going to have a reflection of light right on the surface of it. You see? Light is going to bounce off here, so we can see that reflection. So when you see like reflection in someone's eyes, usually what it is the sun or the light source bouncing off that cornea. But look what's behind it. The shadow is right behind it. So what that means is usually the reflection on the eye is going to be in the shadowed area. Okay? And people don't do that. For whatever reason, they forget that they don't put that reflection above the shadowed area. So if you really want to nail down your eye drawings, that's what you want to look for, okay? That is what you're looking for. Okay, let's move this up here. All right, there's your eyeball. Now, let's think of, instead of drawing the eyelid like an almond shape, and that's this almond shape here, which I don't want you to do again. I only did that for demonstration purposes. I want you to think of the upper eyelid as in 3 parts, okay? So I want you to think of it more like this. Boom, boom, boom. 3 edges. So let's go ahead and put that in here. Let's come up, make this a little bit longer maybe, and then down. That's what I want you to think of. And we can add the thickness, again, just like what we did earlier. All right, and that's going to come up like this. Let's think of that thickness there. And let's go ahead and tone that in as long as we're discussing it. Then the bottom, you're going to use 2 lines for the under part of the eye. And your longer line is going to be toward your nose side. So let's say the nose is over here, all right? So that's the way that we would draw the bottom part there. 2 lines, so 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. And let's go ahead and add a little thickness to this. And then we can come back in here, add some tone. Hang our pupil. I'm just going through all the steps here. We already did it together. Add a little value. Let's move this up here as well. That's the shape I want you to think of now, okay? Now this shape of the eye, I want you to think of 3 lines on top, 2 on the bottom. And you can make infinite number of modifications to this idea, all right? Infinite number. And it's a guide. It's a much better guide than doing this almond-shaped idea, all right? But that's not even an almond shape. That has some personality to it. Like this, okay? Okay, so how do we use this? How do we use this to get our eyes symmetrical, okay? Well, first, let's remember that when we are drawing eyes, typically eyes are proportionally 3 apart. So if this is the width of the eye, usually it's another width in between and then the other eye. So that's the first thing I want you to remember. Eyes are there's usually an eye, a width of an eye in between. So these are sculptures that we're looking at here. And let me just kind of show you visually what I'm talking about. So if this is like roughly the width of the eye, what I'm saying is it's another width in between. You see that? It's not always like that, but it's just, those are general proportions that you can remember. Okay, so how do we do this? So let me demonstrate first by using this method how this works. All right, so let's work with this. I'm going to work with this picture, this sculpture right here. Okay, so this is how I would envision those 3 lines going. You see that? And this is the method that I learned from reading this book from Bern Hogarth. Hey, it's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Hey, I wanted to chime in and let you know I made a small mistake here. I referenced the wrong book. The book actually is by George Bridgman, and it's right here. All right, let's get back to our drawing. If you take the outside edge and bring it up to the center of the gabella, and then if you take that down to the other side, this will get these two outer sides lined up. You see that? And this will really help get your eyes to look more symmetrical in a sense, to get them to draw equally. Two lines underneath end up going something like this. Okay. Oh, I'm going to change that color here to be a little bit more obvious. So that's the trick. That is not the trick. That is a trick that you can use in order to get those eyes lined up. Okay, let's try and draw some of these eyes here. All right, let's start with this top one here. First thing when I'm drawing eyes, what I'm looking for is the corners of the eyes. All right, so I can get the angle of the eye right. Okay, so let's do that. So angles. All right, let's get the corners of the eyes now. Okay. Okay, so that this distance is about equal to that. You see that? Okay, let's get that center point there. All right, there's that. Okay, now this is where I'm going to add just a little modification here. I'm going to bring that down like that. And I'm going to bring that down like that. So, like I said, now I'm not using the 3 lines on the top. I'm only going to use 2 in this example. Now let's get these lower eyelids here. So we're going to come down. All right. Let's go back now and think about how we thickened up. Thicken up that upper eyelid, right? Okay. Let's hang those. Hang those irises. We can't really see the pupils, but we'll just put them in. All right, I'm going to add some tone to these. And then we have the bottom eyelid. All right. It has a little bit of thickness. You see that thickness there? Okay, thickness on the other side. Okay, now we could just quickly kind of gesture in the heaviness of these brows. You see, just kind of, I'm not following the picture exactly. I'm just kind of feeling the emotions. I'm not worrying whether it looks like it exactly. I'm more concerned with capturing the emotion. So this is what I want you to try after we've done this. I've added another photo here. Let me turn all this off here. I've added this gentleman's photo in as another picture you could try. Now, this is a little bit on a 3/4 view, so it's a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. I want you to try it. So essentially, there's the center point here. Watch now. There's the angle there. And then there's the angle out there, you see? And so use that. Use that to try and find that equality or symmetry of both those eyes. This works 3/4 view and front view, okay? Hey, it's contest time. If you go down below and leave a comment, at the end of the month, I will randomly choose one of the commenters and they will get a free week to the daily draw. And we'll see if you win, all right? All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hey, my name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and thanks for tuning in. I will see you later, my friend. A dad who draws.